Hello, this is Anjana Nair. Welcome to Ruby. I would like to say a few things before we start our sessions. This is the first of a series of tutorials we have designed for aspiring Ruby learners. Every lesson will be followed by an assignment or two, which should be completed before the next session. I would encourage every student to take the time to read through the questions thoroughly before answering. It is not an issue to check online for answers, but it is important that you understand that every question was carefully worded to help you establish or sign off on the lesson learned if you can spend the time to think through and answer it. In this tutorial, we will come to know why Ruby stands out, the conception of the Ruby language, simplicity of the language, and installation of Ruby. Here we are using Ubuntu version 12.04, Ruby 2.0. To follow this tutorial, you must have a basic understanding of object-oriented concepts. Ruby was designed and developed in the mid-90s in Japan by Yukihiro Matsumoto, lovingly called Mats within the Ruby community. Ruby supports multiple programming paradigms including functional, object-oriented, and imperative. It also has a dynamic type system and automatic memory management. Ruby is an interpreted programming language, which means it can't run on your processor directly. It has to be fed into a middleman called the virtual machine, or VM. The VM takes in Ruby code on one side and speaks natively to the operating system and processor on the other. The benefit to this approach is that you can write Ruby code once and typically execute it on many different operating systems and hardware platforms. A Ruby program can't run on its own. You need to load the VM. There are two ways to execute it: through IRB and through the command line. Why Ruby stands out? Ruby is said to follow the principle of least astonishment, meaning that the language behaves in such a way as to minimize confusion for experienced users. Ruby is very English-like and easy to understand, which you will be seeing soon. Matsumoto has said his primary design goal was to make a language which he himself enjoyed using by minimizing programmer work and possible confusion. Every value is an object, including classes and instances of types that many other languages designate as primitives, such as integers, booleans, and null. Null, as it's called in Java, in Ruby it is called nil. Variables always hold references to objects. Ruby supports inheritance with mixins and singleton methods. Though Ruby does not support multiple inheritance, classes can import modules as mixins. Now, how simple is Ruby? Well, to answer this question, let us think about how Ruby would print Hello World. So get ready and think hard. And here it is. Put S, Hello World. That is it. You will see it prints out. Amazing, isn't it? Try to remember the number of lines of code needed if it was another language, for instance, Java. It is definitely more. Ruby makes it that simple to assimilate and use. You can install Ruby from www.ruby-lang.org/en/installation. It gives clear instructions on how to install Ruby based on your operating system. Whether Linux or Windows, you can follow the instructions given in this website to install Ruby. The next few sessions will take you deep into Ruby. In this tutorial, we have learned about some basic features of Ruby, programming language, installation of Ruby. Hope this session has given you an introduction about Ruby and what to expect in the language. In the next few sessions, we will write simple programs in Ruby. Ruby has a rich online community and resources for documentation. Try and check them out. Until then, this is Anjana Nair signing off. Thank you.